So I'm going to do the presentation quickly. I don't mind going back to the slide, but I just wanted to give a primer of what opportunity zones are so that we are all on the same page. But what's most important is this time around, we're hoping to take the process from the bottom up. I was involved with Florida government in the designation of opportunity zones. I had the pleasure of being on I call it a kitchen cabinet committee for Senator Tustock when the program was first created. And so I've been involved in the program since its inception. So I do know 10 years ago, it was from the top down. Not many communities were aware of opportunity zones. Brenda's heard me say that Tampa's done a wonderful job because most of your opportunity zones do overlap with the CRA. And I think that's important to be able to twin incentives with a private equity program. But we're taking a different approach this time around and trying to make sure that we get the right designation, since there is a 20% cap, that we're identifying the areas that can remain to attract private equity. So the projects that you would recommend to us should be those projects that will attract private equity. Whatever program ideas that you're involved with that could be beneficial to the attraction of it.
Say first of all, it's not screen. We do not allow anybody to come here without a handout to everybody in here. Second, any presentation that you gave, we must have it sent to Ms. Brenda so she can give it to us. That's our point. They be given to us because it's public record. And we need to get it in there. So can you get that, Ms. Brenda?
Ms. Brenda has it.
He already did it this afternoon. I just was en route, so
Okay.
I'll get it to you. Yeah, and one of the cheat sheet was passed around.
Yes,
You can explain what this is. It's right here.
Don't worry about that. I'm talking.
So I think we have to do extra copies.
Well, you know, let me just say this, but I don't want to pushing this because we got treated like dirt on the first round. Now, I'm not with some of the boys that have round two, okay, they cut out the nonsense and get it down to the bottom down. They get more room. And so we jumped on it and said, we got me waiting on the city. That letter I set up and dropped out before ready to break in November was responsible. I put the letter on the governor's site. They got back with me in 2 days. They said and called. That's still on my record. Mr. Robinson, we need to talk to you. You not done. So the guy from the economic division out there, you know, and I forget his name, trying to find email, call me, we talk. Like I get to be first eye. Like I'm big guys, okay. And we know talk about all that, especially one revival flow out there. So I told him, listen, man, yes, we're gonna subtract 44. Okay, 43 don't have enough opportunity. They all the I don't even think they're trying to be up because they ain't swinging back. Because the way the numbers flowing, they use some of the old census data. And if you look at new data, it's based on income. That's why Channel side and over there by Eagle Harbor ain't up. So them people got income up $100,000 on list. So there's some data translation. But I wouldn't go down the data. 44 was eligible then and 44 now. 45, you can just on the other side of me get come on. Because they done went up and then come on the other side of me. It was out. They do down there. They should have tried to get the Wheeler House done, but they wasted their time. But it's out of time because we are slowing back. Main Street, that core of Main Street, where the majority of businesses, regardless of what ain't been dealt with no opportunities on, we can skip over. They did the housing authority, so they get all the West Road, the long yard, the aftermath, all that. Well, I'm tired. They don't need to be, we need to be priority over there. Because they rolling, they're going to come from hotels and that over there, Springhead Hotel, what hotel they're going to get, and some stuff. But we need this opportunity zone on this side of Rome. Period. That's my opinion. This side of Rome, all the way to Amelia. Okay, and then south of the interstate up to Plymouth Drive. This track. So that can also be where I stay. So,
An extra question.
yeah.
So if you get an opportunity zone designation for a census tract 43, 44.
No, 44. I'm not.
Okay. I couldn't remember what number you had.
Yeah.
So the census tract get designated. what are your ideas on how we raise equity? So that if your interest is Main Street.
Let's get the salary generates 9 million and will soon to be $12 million before we run out in 2043. We have a cash stream big than that. We got $30 million we ain't even put in spent yet, sitting in a bank. So we have a cash flow with the CRA tip money, number one. Number two, we have investors that own some of these cigarette factory buildings. We got private investment in Central Tract 44 already. They're doing a boutique hotel down the street already on Howard Avenue. Okay? Boutique hotel done. Just right back. We have a winery that's already spending their own money, no opportunity zone money, right on Albany and Sherry. Okay, called a wine. They spent a lot of money. That's one of the largest wine distributors of wine and kegs. They ship it on ships over here and they keg. That's the new way to do wine. And the keg lasts longer than a bottle of the quart that beat the air. We've got cigar factory building down the street that the Cass brothers just brought. They sold the Griffins and Spencer Cass and now own the building right up here. Cigar factory building right on Beach Street in Howard. They also own the cigar factory up there by St. Joseph something on Howard. Okay, the name of you. So you know,
can I repeat what you just said so I can we have it for our notes in the minutes? So the idea that I'm hearing that you say is that remember I said that in order to capitalize a qualified opportunity fund, it has to be capital gains. And so a CRA making a direct investment into a qualified opportunity fund.
No, we're gonna be doing it.
It's a great idea.
Let it finish, because I'm tired of listening to y'all. Because you ain't done that. That's why I want to.
That's why
I went to the governor's office and talked to the man that will be making the decision, not y'all. All y'all gonna do is say what the local people want. And I'm tired of this denying this black census tract, this Hispanic census tract, to be on the list. Now I'll just tell you that. So I'm gonna have to call the governor and go up there. Tell him my question, so I'm tired of hearing that. The city get an economic development commission, $400,000 to $500,000 a year to listen to us citizens a year. I'm seeing it down in the city council. Okay, Carson don't even want you to get a dime. And we don't record all this being recorded, man. This is a public meeting. So what I'm saying is that's money that we can match with these big people that want capital gains. I got property at capital gains. I'm selling houses around here and want to be putting more money in the capital bank myself a fund. Okay, as a private person, a group of real people that want to put capital gains into that. So what I'm saying is we have actually money. We know we can't put salary money in a self-opportunity zone.
Amen.
Okay, but we're saying that's the point. Don't count us out because you're trying to say we got to have the opportunity zone capital fund set up before we get an opportunity zone. Wrong. You get the opportunity zone designated, and then you market for private investors that want to invest capital gains money. So don't come and tell us we got to go come up and identify some economic opportunity zone fund in order to get an opportunity. It don't work like that. We didn't get CRA, we have to get CRA designated before we can get the money coming in. So we got to get the opportunity zone designation, and we'll go find, I guarantee you, we will find private investors, people with millions of dollars or billions that want to invest in Census Tract because we are hot commodity.
Okay. I want to make sure we got to know. So Mr. Robson's idea is that CRA funds could be used to leverage or incentivize private investment for the redevelopment in this city.
I'm very passionate.
And I just want to make sure
before we go further, let me go over here. So I have to get I'm done talking. So let me go. Go ahead, Mr. Lanya, then Mrs. Fenton, and then Bobby.
So Tony, I think my question lined up with what President is just said. When I heard you presentation, are you saying that qualified opportunity fund, right, is coterminous with opportunity zone? But opportunity zone, you have to get opportunity zone before the fund is invested.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it was in 1.0.
It's still the same way.
But your presentation said, exactly.
I said,
That was the question I was gonna ask.
I want to make sure I clarify with my presentation. So you guys are the first one we're presenting to, so.
But we gonna get straight, but you sit there.
What comes first, the fund or the designation of the zone? So if you want to take advantage of if you're motivated to take advantage of the tax incentives, you could create a fund tomorrow. You create a fund tomorrow. Now, the question becomes, if you create a fund tomorrow, you will need to wait until the designation of the qualified opportunity zone, because the qualified opportunity fund can only invest in projects that have been designated an opportunity zone. So you have to do one or the other first, not necessarily if you had some other factor that came in and say,
Do we have to do the investment? I mean, if we select it as a qualified opportunity zone, that becomes an investment in itself.
Correct.
Right?
Right. It's another way to generate economic development in our area. It's like we have opportunity zone, CRA, we have overlay, we have the West County business that we moved over wrong. They listen to us. So all of those things are incentives to get businesses and get development moving in a slum in that area. And we don't run out. East Tampa, Drew Park, and the other ones run out in 2034, they CRA over unless they expand. Right, Ms. Brenda? So because I pushed a lot, tied us to downtown and Chandlerside, West Tampa was extended to 2043. So we got another 17 years of a CRA that generate revenue coming from the private development that's already going on by the housing authority, on the stuff that do pay taxes, Rome Yard that do pay taxes, on the stuff south of the interstate that do pay taxes, and those funds will be coming back. Not only that, when we first started out, opportunity zones can be used for building schools. And we were told that by the consultant, but remember now, the city had an opportunity zone kickoff. They had a flyer that they gave everybody and invited everybody. They had a big meeting. And I actually got on the phone from Orlando that consulted the city high on the call, on the Zoom or team, whatever it was. Hey man, because I was thinking about just and Stewart way back. And I said, well, and I knew there was an opportunity zone down in 43. And I said, well, can it be used for school? He said, yes. I said, really? That's an opportunity zone. I told the superintendent and Fox and them that that's the way we can probably fund the schools. Okay? And that's something that died. Okay? So, we don't want this sort of attitude about it. Now, listen, we don't take that. On that side, we say, this is what we want. And if the city ain't going to get it, we're going to go around. We're going to call the government, because there's a lot of Republicans on this committee, and people around there ain't just them all. So we know how to work the system, and we're saying that we want 34, and we want EDC to say, yeah, let's get them people over there that's have a great CRA. We got the housing authority sitting here. We got all these community groups sitting here, and we know we still look at Main Street, and it's a shame to go God that the voters fight business sitting there, right? Oh, sure. I hear what you're saying, but it wasn't clear to me, it wasn't clear to David. So it's strange. So we don't want to put the company for the horse. We want to say, we know we got an opportunity zone, and we know that it ain't even going to start right away. See, it ain't nothing. Both zones will still continue. The ones that are existing will die, I think, in another year or two, and then we will be coming on, if we're nominated, we'll be coming on and moving forward. Okay, so the ones that are already there still will be there. Still have opportunity to get their little, fund going now. But there's been zones downtown for whole heads. Okay, so we don't want to say, well, we need to go. No, we don't need to go waste no time marketing something that we know ain't gonna be in our head. We need to get out of the designation now. And once we get our designation and the government and Congress and everybody up there in DC get it, say, yep, I guarantee you with Mr. Cass and a lot of these private people around here, it's changed over there. I guarantee we can get some private funds going to set up all kind of opportunity zone, accounts. Okay, but anyway, let me move on. I'm sorry. Just next, then Mr. Wilson. Get a mic down. You got a mic.
Two questions, and both of them, I guess, are prosecuted. Oh, sorry. We know the governor's gonna make the ultimate decision, moving it up to the federal. Is the process to get to the governor that is it at the county level, municipalities, submit their requested sites? How are those sites being gathered, packaged?
So the process that we're managing with the city and the county is, right now, my vision is for us to submit one list. So you have the private sector being represented by the EDC, and then the city and the county working together through a process that we can recommend in some priority order of the number of census tracts that we would hope that Florida Commerce would then send to the governor in order to then say that this is the list that came from the city, county, public-private coalition, and that we have a great chance of having more than 90% of our census tracts selected.
So is that in other words, who are the decision makers locally in that? Is it the mayor, the chair of the county commission, and then the EDC rep? I mean, who is making?
So we've asked that question internally, and the city and the county each have different processes. So if there is a decision that the county chair needs to sign a letter, that may have to go to the board of commissioners. If it's a matter of getting the mayor to sign a letter, then that's a process I believe that staff can manage, and Brendan probably can speak to that better than I. With the EDC, we have the board and an executive committee, and so our CEO would likely, at the very least, would get the recommendation from the executive committee. I'm making a presentation to our board this week. Members of our board include TICO, every major financial institution, every major developer in the county, and we're asking them also, same process that I'm presenting to you, we're asking them also to tell us what projects they're aware of that the designation will help in attracting attention.
But in other words, the mayor's gonna have her list. The county commission's gonna have their list. The private sector is gonna have, or EDC is gonna have their list. And at some point, that list has to be combined into one list that those three entities have to arrive at consensus on.
Yes, correct.
But this goes back to the point I was making before that, yes, we wrote the budget to the governor, and that's wonderful, but how are we making sure that we're on the mayor's list?
We are, because I got the chairman's recommendation to be validated. We put it on.
The census tract is on the mayor's list, so we're good there, okay. And then it'll have to be massaged until it makes the final local list.
So, and you're asking the right question. So how did we take 106 eligible tracts and get it down to 26, right? Where the county is more interested in its unincorporated areas, and the city is, you can see where the city's interests are. We've already been told about some Springs and some other areas that don't have a CRA, but have development opportunities. And so I think the challenge for all of us is, and we've already asked this of the governor's office, will we be limited to the 25% cap? Because the 25% cap is statewide, it's not per county. And so if they tell us that, yes, you're limited to 25%, well, we know that's 26 census tracts. And so where the consensus for redevelopment is, and one of the things that I can say for sure, just in the meetings that we've had with the city and the county, it's been a very collaborative process. And so everyone is looking to make sure that we first identify those areas that's going to add to redevelopment, that's going to create jobs, that's going to provide workforce and affordable housing. And that even though we designated right? The other thing that we have to ensure is that it's going to attract equity. Because this is an equity program, it's not a loan program. And it's almost like the housing authority buying land and then applying for low-income housing tax credit, which generates equity, and they know how competitive that process is. So it's not so much just density. We know that there are areas in need of economic stimulus, but is it going to attract private investment to take equity risks? And that becomes flawed.
My other question is, how does one go about creating a fund? What's that process?
So it's a lead entity. So first comes the subjects, and then learning through the documents to make sure that you're in compliant. Usually when I get a phone call, we refer them to 2 or 3 law firms, but it's just more or less setting up a corporate entity and then having the rules and regulations that your investor finds comfortable. Because then after your rules and regulations don't properly be who you're attracting as an investor. Does the investor want in your rules and regulations, or the investor want to sign off on investments? What is the criteria before they write a check to invest? So you can easily create a corporate entity, but then your bylaws, it's the LLC, your rules and regulations is going to probably be dictated by your investor.
So there's, I'm assuming, regulations that dictate how a fund has to operate. And then is it the treasury, then it all gets submitted, what, to treasury? And
Well, I don't think the treasury gets involved in the minutia of the legal documents.
No, but I mean, designation wise.
The designation of the census tract, treasury will determine where those are.
No, the fund.
The funds, legal documents will probably say that the money has to be in a designated opportunity zone, so you protect it, if I understand your question, right? So the rules of creating a fund, that the investor wants to make sure that the sponsor of the fund, anyone in this room, that the sponsor of the fund knows where they can make investments, what qualifies as an investment, and what the reporting requirements are. Because if I give you my money, I don't want recapture. I don't want any issues related to the fact that you used my money and you bought property outside an opportunity zone. So those are all the things that get spelled out in the legal document, and that the comfort level that the investor would have with the sponsor of the fund to know that you know what you're doing, because they may not micromanage the disbursement of their dollars.
So it's a I'll call it a self-proclaimed. In other words, just like when you set up a corporate, as long as you proclaim, I am an enterprise zone fund and I go meet all these rules, I am now, nobody from Treasury has to designate me. I'm the fund as long as I meet all the rules.
You meet all the rules, and then you do your reporting. And if your reporting is an investment outside of the qualified zone, then you're in trouble.
Y'all getting educated matters. All right, next, Ms. Barbara, Mr. Wilson, so we can move on. It was Ms. Wilson. Did you have, is there anybody on there, Ms. Tina? Okay, we're gonna go
I
down to
have
Ms. Tina.
a question in regards to like, go to like, a slide where you have the website. And like, you're asking us for like, the capital access program registration form. It seems like during your presentation, you were asking us for like potential projects. Or like, I think going back to Joe, like, hey, here's the idea. What is that Joe's idea will be uploaded into that form?
So we got Joe's idea.
Okay, but mainly you're looking for ideas of projects, but not specific things.
That's, well, maybe both. Let me say both. Okay, so we already know, right? I mean, we know West Tampa is a redevelopment priority area, not only for the city, but also for our organization as well. So it goes without saying that we're going to put all 3 of your eligible census tracts on the list. We know that there is major catalytic development happening, at least in 2 projects in 1 census tract, I believe. I think there will be 1 census tract. So now the question for you or this committee is how does that catalytic development that's occurring, how does it come up Main Street? How does it go down Howard or other places that are important to you? What's important to you? Should you have a fund that's doing single family home ownership, right? You have West Tampa has benefited from a lot of multifamily development in the 5 years that I've been here. But I think these are the things and the redevelopment priority that you probably already identified in your West Tampa CRA plan. And so the attraction of an investor might be one who is interested in seeing more home ownership and the creation of a fund for home ownership. It might be a Main Street fund where you use an opportunity fund to start a business, to support a business. I mean, that's the creativity. The only challenge is identifying an investor.
Very really broad.
Oh,
Next was Mrs. Sheila Young and then Mrs. Williams.
So my question is along the line what Jeanette was asking. So when you get your, recommendations from the three entities, the city, county, your office, is it your office that's making the final recommendation to the Board of Commerce?
But for instance, we've established is that I call it the P3 coalition. So our organization, the city and the county, we will go through a vetting process to say, how do we come up with a force rank of 26 sister strengths? And then 30 or 40. And then we will set the city, the county, our investors, our lobbyists to the governor to say, this is the list that through a very open community engagement process that we came up with 26 census tracts. And we've already got the criteria from the governor's office as to what they're looking for, right? This governor is looking for development around ports, maritime prosperity zones, manufacturing, home ownership, redevelopment. So we already know the state's criteria in order to tell them how we came up with our priority list. And so, but it won't be Tony Brown alone making the decision. It'll be the representatives from the city.
You know, open Pandora's box, and I'm listen, but I gotta chime in if I can.
Yes, sir.
Please send to the that list that the governor done told you that he can see. I didn't know like that, but you. So send that list to Miss Brenda of what the governor done told you. What type of practice that they looking for, so we can identify now that we know that what they looking for, right?
Yeah.
That's a
And so it's gonna be on their website too.
I understand you can't tap that. We got you here. Okay, that's what we got you. Y'all, we get y'all folks from $7 a year to help the city. We're part of the city. So we're asking you to send us over a little one page of whatever the governor sends you the president so she can get it to us. And we can look at what we want on some projects. Because I know millionaires and billionaires. See, that's what you don't know. I know what a guy named Stephen Diggs is one of the biggest developers right there. Okay? And he really interested in coming to the city. But then let's move on. Let's see all of us, Tina, Janice, and then back to Miss Brown. You doing this tonight.
Historically, how favorable has the governor been to Tampa Bay as far as accepting recommendations from this area?
I can't answer that question because I don't know.
Okay.
I know that in terms of the governor's staff, this Secretary Kelly has been in our office and has toured East Tampa and other projects. So they've been very responsive to our organizational projects. But overall, I can't speak to that question.
Thank you.
Ms. Williams.
A lot of longtime residents here. And so my question to you is, my first question to you is, can an opportunity zone accelerate gentrification?
The answer is yes.
Secondly, can a community benefits agreement, is it something that you think investors would be amenable to?
Repeat that part again.
A community benefits agreement?
So the new. So the question was, would an investor be open to a community benefits agreement? Paraphrase that word. I would probably say it depends on the investor. There are many mission-driven investors linked with CRAs that probably would have a requirement on the fund to invest in projects that are a benefit to the community. One of the questions that we had in our worksheet is what is the community benefit? Are you creating jobs? Quality affordable housing. So we want to know if the nomination of a project, what is the benefit to the community? The new rules under 2.0 is also requiring funds to report and to be able to report on what was the benefit to the community of the investment. Remember, there's been a major change. The major change is that they have purposely tried to separate areas that are attracting capital, like Water Street, areas like Ybor City that are major redevelopment areas where there has been that gentrification. To make sure that this program is reaching other areas that the tax credit can incentivize the attraction of capital. So to answer your question is community benefits and being able to report that has been the new major change in QLC 2.0.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about reporting, so you answered that. The holding period is 10 years, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, based on this sheet here, does that mean it can be renewed every 10 years, up to 30 years? Is that what that means?
It actually means a couple of things. So the question was the holding period is 10 years. So the 10-year requirement is that if I keep my investment in the fund for 10 years, and then I sell that investment and I get a capital gain, that subsequent capital gain is tax free. And that's the thing. That's the instant. That's so I put my money in the fund, 100,000, it turns out into $1 million. That $900,000 gain is tax exempt. If I keep it in there for 10 years. If I don't, then I lose that tax credit benefit.
So what's that up to 30 years thing? Explaining. It says step up to FMV.
So, separate basis. So if I have the investment and if I go beyond 30 years, the step-up basis gives a benefit that if I subsequently sell my current investment, and I think there's 30 years, I get the step-up basis, which basically means that in my initial capital gain, it is taxable that I put into the fund, but it's taxable at a reduced rate.
What's that gonna be for market value?
Yes. And let me make sure we follow up on that question about 30 years. That's
So, I still need to, so year 11, year 11. I feel like if I'm an investor and I want to maybe stay for 11 or 12 years, am I getting any tax benefit?
you can. A more specific answer to that question. So let me just give you what I surmise. Most investors that stay in there for 10 years want the tax-free benefit. If I stay longer, it's probably because I don't necessarily need the money and I want my money to stay and to reinvest, but I need to follow up to say, what is the incentive for me to keep that investment longer than 10? I'd rather reinvest it into another fund. But I don't know the tax laws and benefits of being in there longer than 10.
Thank you.
Okay, this is, we're gonna bring this plane down. Listen,
I'm good.
okay,
Appointment was listening. That's a question.
okay, Ms. Jones.
It's a little confused. Did you make a statement that banks don't invest in opportunities, right?
I did make the statement. I said, and let me clarify, banks have been reluctant to invest in opportunity zones because on their balance sheet, you don't see a lot of capital gain. Some banks have invested in opportunity zones, but not to the magnitude that they've invested in low-income housing tax credits or new markets tax credits, because the tax credits offset ordinary income. In this program, the tax benefit offsets capital gains. And most commercial banks don't speculate in real estate or speculative investments, so they don't have capital gains. And that's why they haven't been the source of creating these.
Or not working on what committee?
That's the background. Well, but you can say the rest were the fact that they just don't have the sources because the capital to capitalize a qualified opportunity fund comes from your capital gains. That I have made proposals to banks that have private funds for private banking operations, where perhaps they can create a fund for their investors. And I know in having conversations with folks like Goldman Sachs and others, where they see the benefit of creating a fund for their investors. But conversations I have had with some commercial banks is that, have you thought about your private banking group creating a fund where investors might want to then put money and do the.
Yeah, see, here's the deal. This is a real estate thing. This church. And I'm sure it's very important. That's why I want to stay on it. That's when you see corporations buying thousands of houses right now. Now, these one of them houses gonna be worth a lot more money in 10 years from now. So when they get ready, they set up a fund, they want to invest. So they got all these houses, about 1,000 houses buying, and they can't find a house. So the corporation bought them all up. We think Leslie's trying to stop that. But the Internal Government trying to stop that. So they bought all these houses, so they got plenty of capital gain. They bought a house at 200,000, now it's gonna be worth 100,000, $1 million 10 years from now. They got a lot of capital gains in real estate, because that's one of your biggest appreciation values you can invest in just with the house. Now, the stock market, if you take place in real estate, it's gonna go up around 20% a year, okay? So they know that that's gonna happen. So then we're ready to cash out. We ain't paying no taxes on that acquired income, but we selling those there for 10 years. So it's good about real estate. But let me close with this. I was, I'm full disclosure in here. I just left over at HCC campus. And I think that this 25% that is an arbitrary rule. Okay, so the government say, well, this county didn't get, that county didn't get, so there's gonna be a lot of counties that ain't gonna have no opportunity zone. So then that opens up the ones that want to get more than 25%, get more than 25%, right? So I think that over there at HCC, with the map I've seen, does one, they probably already got some opportunity zone account settled over there at HCC for the raise, for all that development. They can show what they want to do. They got the job, they got all that. And more. I just saw the presentation, I just over there talking about it, okay? So they got it going on because they got all that. But we might do a small deal we can't come up with, but we got some private development that done occurred in this since I just give that. Okay, so we may not be big, but we got a slum and black area, and we saying we was left out politically. We should have been part. There's no way if you look at that map, and that's why I put that map with that letter. And set it up there, you see that map. There's gentrification right there. You sitting there making everything blue, skipping over to the black folks for, and jumping over to the west side of the Hispanic folks for. That one right. Should have made all three of them. They put the thing in it, but they did. The one on the left ain't eligible now. And the one over there at the right might not be eligible because all the adults they got a market rate over there. But we still sitting in and don't, not in me. So that's why, strong bank, we don't get it, that's fine. We got a salary and we still work. But one thing I learned is like, if you don't ask, you ain't gonna get. And because we consistent, it's like, hey, I said that, see, on the side, we gonna put it on the list. That doesn't mean we're gonna make the cut, Miss Fit when they cut that. That's why I'm looking for the other side. Say, look, man, give us in down. They can make it get in there for the city and all that. Don't. They might go around the city and say, we want 44 anyway. I guarantee you the government can do that, right, Mr. Brown?
Can do.
In case you don't need that, go through that process, yeah. The government say make 44 a zone, this is done.
Yeah.
Right, Mr. Brown? Okay, let's move on. I thank Mr. Brown. Let's go on to the agenda. We appreciate it, but we need that presentation. That was excellent. You did an
I
excellent
have it, and I will send it to y'all right after.
excellent job. And I gave more than 9%.
Thank you so
I
much.
don't know you got out my money, I think you got that money. Okay, moving right along. Small business navigator, Tim Spearman, is he still here? You know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you want to
And get the mic. Spearman and tell us about, small business navigator. I guess you got a website or something that he wants to.
I'll get you out here.
So for most presentation, it'll just be our public web pages, and then I'll make sure you have my direct contact. It'll be a compact presentation, but again, just going over. Yeah, you got it.
For it as well.
Yeah.
Just. That's three votes. Maybe you know, get the hearing on. But the all, that we did, I see one.
Okay.
See the box, right?
Most of it.
Maybe there's only okay. Ready? It's a big market, that is, it's got, you know,
We got
So, once again, my name is Tim Spearman. I'm a small business navigator for the city of Tampa. Just to get some history about the program, what I'll do in this presentation is again, just get a short economic summary from BLS about the area that leads up to December 2025. After that, just go through our program, some of the initiatives we're doing in economic opportunity for our department, the city of Tampa, and then also how you can either engage with me or how I can assist you in any Q&A that you have. And so, this is this information.
You can scroll down, so. Well,
We're just starting off with December. As you can see, for Hillsborough County, comes to average weekly wages, we're at 14.28 for weekly wages. What you see on the unemployment rates on the left side is the comparison between September of 24 and September of 25. With those differences in the unemployment rate, you do see the increase in the region in its entirety. We have seen some of this data across the nation due to, again, some of the economic fluctuations we've seen from either federal policies or how localities and regions have had to respond to them. And so with that, we are, again, targeting a series of programs or initiatives the city has to make sure, as well as with the partnerships that we have with the EDC, to still encourage growth in the region. Could you please scroll down? So even then, again, with the changes in employment, we've seen a decrease over time with non-farm payrolls, but again, we're in urban areas. We assume that we have seen increases specifically when it comes to construction and education and health services for the most increase we've seen in the change over time. Of course, you may notice that through all the multiple construction projects we have in the region, especially considering the amount of FDOT funds we were able to receive to do a lot of infrastructure projects, as well as for what you may see for some of our corridors for travel. And so with that, could you go to the next page, please? And again, I've already shared all the links and everything that I'll go over today. Brenda, she'll be able to share with you after our meeting. And so with that, again, going through the CPI data in the top left-hand corner, two of the sticky points that we do have for the region is food and energy. Again, food across the nation, but especially for Florida, has been a big one. We've seen huge changes in our agricultural sector, whether it's due to employment in the sector or them adjusting to tariffs or what have you. We do see a bit of stickiness there in the amount of inflation we've experienced in this region as compared to the average for U.S. cities. We do see wage growth in many different areas. We do see a very large increase in individuals in the tech sector, as well as, again, in hospitals, insurance, and then business services, excuse me. And so with that, as you can see, with the average expenditures that we see, it's hovering around 72 to 75 thousand a year on an annual basis. That is broken down, of course, by the spending in each year. And if you could scroll down again. And then again, for the employer costs, we have seen a change when it comes to employer costs. We have seen a slight decrease, again, compared to the nation when it comes to those costs that we experience in Florida. But we do see in our specific ecosystem, the Tampa Bay region, we do have a lot of different workforce and economic development programs that also can contribute to our region either decreasing those costs or providing more availability for employees. Again, when it comes to the general national trend of what the economy looks like, what our best case scenario for us is just ensure that we build a resilience in the community through strategically the programs that we have or through some of the initiatives that we try and have with our stakeholders in the community. And so from there, with that, just quick run through the summary. Again, this will be provided directly to you. I'm going to go to the next tab, please. Our program, all the way second tab from your left.
Small business.
Yes. And so this program was started in 2023. It's a small business navigator program. Again, I'm not the original navigator. I just started this year. I'm a 1-year veteran with the city. With this program, again, I'm the liaison between the business community and the city of Tampa. So we provide guidance to all the resources we may have in our ecosystem. And so this may be grants, this may be access to capital, this may be events, this may be expos, no cost consulting, or some of the different programs and initiatives that the city is doing. But my role with the city is to specifically assess those companies that come to us for assistance and then guide them to the best resource that fits their need. And so we do this, again, whether it's on the ground, talking to local community groups where they are. I'm very accessible as a resource. You just got to give us time to plan out the presentation. Now, with that, I did want to address some of the things you spoke about today in the meeting as far as some of the resources that we do have available. And you'll all have links and everything to schedule with me. That's just a meeting request. So even if there's a local business that needs assistance, feel free to give them my contact and we'll make sure to assist them. We have actually already been canvassing West Tampa, specifically Howard, Armenia, and Albany, as well as West Main Street when it comes to seeing how they were impacted by the storms. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that program after I go through the main. I think please the next step, right? Yes. And so we did recently launch our Tampa Entrepreneur Support Hub. And so with this hub, we're utilizing CDBG funding to provide assistance to micro enterprises and low to moderate income individuals based on the 2025 HUD census tracts. Of course, that'll change, but we'll ensure to keep all residents updated as well as individuals interested updated. With the requirements for the program, again, we're looking at micro enterprises, 1 to 5 employees, including the owner, where we can provide them specific strategic guidance paid for by the city of Tampa to give them specialized assistance through business consultants with the SBDC, as well as the Women's Business Center. And so with that, we're really trying to strategically work with these entities, whether they provide services in general to the area or they're entrepreneurs just trying to get started themselves. We're trying to assist those companies in expanding what opportunities are around them. Another instance is our Startup Incubators program. Currently, we are in a second cohort of the Startup Incubator program where, again, for low to moderate income individuals, they are able to go through an 8-week cohort with the Women's Business Center, where they get specialized assistance and guidance and access to a $1,000 grant if they qualify. Again, we verify their income, the 80% LMI, and we're able to provide the correct assistance to them to start that company or help them secure, maybe they want to secure a brick and mortar or secure equipment for their business, and work with them there. There are other grants that are accessible throughout the year. I do keep a list of grants, at least before their deadlines close or what have you, actively and live that we share with any business owners that participate with us in the program. So again, we're completely happy to share that information with you all. So with this specific program, now, and I can get back to the campus portion, we are having different initiatives that we roll out throughout the year, where we're specifically trying to tackle, and you can keep it on this page, resilience, specifically to environmental risk, flood risks, hurricanes, what have you. And so with that initiative, we surveyed businesses up and down Albany, Howard, Main Street, in Armenia, to see how they've been impacted by the storms and how the community was impacted at the time. So, for example, let me make sure I get everything right. And we're aware of some of the other things that have been happening in the community, like unfortunately what happened with Lucky Tiger. The other, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. We saw that. I've been in contact with the owners. I spoke with them before. They have my cards and everything already. So it really sucks. They just got the place. Yeah, I'm sorry. But also low price grocery. So low price grocery store, we knew that they were a hub when it came to providing electricity to the community, because we had seen that they said that they got lined out the door of all the neighbors that lost their power, but somehow they were able to keep theirs. So even through here in stores like that, we were able to try and secure like solar powered battery stations that would be able to charge, so they wouldn't incur a lot of utility costs that they incurred over that time, providing that resource to the community. The sandwich shop off Armenia, we know that they're in a low-lying area. They experienced some flooding, so we wanted to provide them flood-proof storage so that they wouldn't lose out on their equipment or their inventory, which was a huge thing that impacted a lot of people. Or just making sure they have access to our resource, like helping Barbecue King. He called us about a parking space in front of his business. So, you know, even the little things, we're trying to be here as a resource just to get all those questions answered. We've been keeping track of a lot of the different developments. So we know that there's a lot of major concerns, but at least through the initiatives we have in our office, we're going to be trying to address them in both West Tampa and Sulphur Springs. You will see me canvassing more throughout the coming months, again, to accept applications for those programs for resilience for the businesses, as well as just to get our information out there from my office, so that the local businesses have a point of contact in the city that they can at least get some information or guidance from. If you want me to come speak to any local groups, young entrepreneurs, community groups, entrepreneurs, what have you, business groups you may be interested in, again, we're already working directly with the CRA to work with the chamber. But again, we're just filling up the calendar for the year to make sure, you know, we address everyone's concern. So as far as like what I went over today, and I'm gonna make sure you all have my card before I leave. I would like to still make sure I address any questions, concerns, maybe that you have or what you want to see for local businesses in the area.
I'll surround your question with really.
You take mine.
Well, I don't need it.
Oh, okay.
So just to be clear, you don't provide the direct business counseling. They go through the SBDC or the Women's Center for that level of.
Yeah, when it comes to direct consulting, yes.
Yeah.
What I am is a resource navigator. So I can tell you who the person is, what the sort resource is,
You're the referrals.
how they can engage with it. Mm-hmm.
You're the central point of contact that then siphons them off for.
Yeah, think of me as just a primer for them for all the other resources they may be able to get so that the conversation and communication that they have is a little bit easier. Because we know a main issue that people experience is like they don't know the question to ask when they get to the place. So we want to try and reduce that so they can actually utilize what they're trying to get.
And when they're getting their services now through SBDC or the Women's Center, is it, what format does that take? Do they have to go there, or is it mostly Zoom, online, or how is that happening?
So the SBDC, they have a series of consultants that are able to work with you both in person in their office, or they do site assessments where they can come to you. They have done that in the past. Even for our program as a small business navigator, I'm happy to do a site assessment or do it on site with you. We've had persons with disabilities who want to be entrepreneurs where we have to go out and speak with them and everything. So we're happy to accommodate. But as far as the SBDC, yes, they do site visits, in-person consultations, as well as virtual. For the Women's Business Center, I think they do theirs through a series of workshops. The cohort that we have is available virtually, but they prefer in person just because it's a nice, learning environment, and it's always good to get a lot of entrepreneurs in the room to share ideas. And so those are the methods of engagement that they have there. But if that changes, we'll let you know in advance. Now, as far as, again, the services, yes, we contract with these partners to provide those services. Just like Tony said, with the EDC, they're contracted with the city to provide the services they provide to the community.
I'm going to put you in touch with someone at the West Tampa Chamber because.
No,
what's that?
I said, Leo? No.
No, no. Thank you.
Let's go along. One question for you is, are you well exposed that people know about your principles? And if so, what would you say in terms of people you go to the program? One has been so sad. Race since you've been here for 1 year. So are you getting a lot of people coming to you? I mean, if they don't know that you exist, how would you be able to help?
Yeah, so the good thing is luckily I've been consulting in the community for a while. Previously, I worked in partnership with Hillsborough County for the Florida State Minority Supply Development Council. I was their consultant for the region, as well as representing minority-owned farms in North Florida. And so through that, I've been able to build a lot of strategic partnerships with those stakeholders where they know my name, they see me out in the community, they see me at CDC Tampa events, MPDC events, local community groups, Empower Creatives for the smaller groups, the family centers for volunteers. So it hasn't been too hard to adjust. It's more so making sure that they recognize that the resource is coming from the city. Because we hear for so long, or at least I've heard in my experience, some of the issues that communities have with receiving resources or even just guidance from the city. So luckily through this program, through some of the initiatives that we have, and hopefully through my efforts, more and more recognition will come. But as far as success stories, we have had local businesses receive grants, whether it's the emergency grants that were provided by the Glacier Foundation, when they did their did 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken, of funding for emergencies. We work with Career Source directly, where we've been able to provide at least one business. They utilize 6, 3 interns, 3 employees over a summer for one of the sub shops that we were able to work with. So they were able to increase our business for the cohorts that we have for the Women's Business Center. The first cohort was about 26 entrepreneurs that were able to go through the startup program. 11 would receive grants. And the next cohort we have that's going place now has 23, where we're having that increase in activity. So it's good. We're keeping that going. And then again, my efforts, hearing the concerns, hearing the issues that we have for like Sulphur Springs, or even with Tampa, we can push out some of these programs to get more businesses either grant funding or funding for beautification and projects that actually assist their business, or at least again makes them more resilient. So we're in constant communication, or at least we try to be, with the local interest groups, even with the newly formed Nebraska Street Business Group, right? That formed, I believe, in December. They had their first meeting. We're even in conversations with them about what types of projects they want to see up and down Nebraska, how they want to address some of the blight that they see in some of the parks, having conversations with the racetrack owner, or even again, making sure people push forward, getting the pool repaired, right? So we do understand the concern about seeing like the actual benefits on the ground, but I do guarantee people are receiving grants, people are getting assistance. I've had clients hire more employees because of our service. What I'm looking to do is just make sure West Tampa gets a piece.
Okay, anyone else?
I just want to know, how do the community know about that you exist? How are you guys promoting the services for the city?
So I am in the community all the time at local business groups, even at the example of Vein 2106. They've hosted in partnership with the CDC of Tampa, as well as the Tampa Bay Economic Development Group. They've had some meetings there, as well as Third Thursday and Fifth Third Bank. They host some of their events there. I think the next one this Thursday is going to have the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club and one of the other youth development groups. So we keep in touch with those initiatives that we have that's hosting the events of these different pockets or areas. And then again, through the partnerships that we work with the CRA team, we try and make sure our presence is there at different chamber events, meetings, CAC meetings, or just again, me doing direct outreach in the surveys and just canvassing. So I can guarantee, like, a lot of them have my card. They may not call me, or if they do, it's about, again, the parking issue or Cohatch, right? When they first opened, we made sure they had our cards so that any entrepreneurs that came in the area, they immediately knew they had a resource to help them. So it encouraged them to stay at the Cohatch and, West Tampa. So we do recognize, like, and again, our team and our department's only 4 people, right? So we are stretched out there, but again, we're there.
Okay, Debbie, all right, let me just say this, I haven't done the best, man, I was for everything that's there. I didn't like it. It's a reason that we don't and I don't. But see, we waiting on Rome Yard to build us a new facility with our workforce center, 3,900 square foot office facility there. And then the city city's family gonna be leasing from the West Tampa CDC. It's big. That's why we don't have that team. They're on the east side. I didn't be told that he's on the west side. Like right here over here. So that's fine, because we sort of have a little different type of way over here. We sort of like got the chamber, people up here pretty much in business, on the business, people in business over here know what's going on. So we got all that work. And I appreciate what you're doing, man. Where you from? You from North Florida, you said?
No, Tampa. Graduated from Tech.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you're saying. If we did a minority business, that small business, from day one to paper, I really appreciate this navigation because it's been a challenge. Now, my question is the data. The housing authority used to have people that stayed there that were part that have their own businesses. Did that stop with the redevelopment of the restaurant? That there's no longer businesses in there, like daycare centers or whatever?
No, we still have that. And then, the ongoing.
I understand, but they,
Well, that's gonna be on the commercial side. You building a, office building and a daycare.
okay, so the daycare is coming?
Yeah.
Got it. So what I'm saying is that just make sure that the housing authority has the largest amount of people that want to be entrepreneurs and startups.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, I didn't hear you say, the housing authority and have a presentation of it where they're looking to have residents. That's what they can do. Having worked with them and still work with them.
So I'll make sure.
You know what I'm saying? They can call everybody and say, look, we're gonna have a meeting and we're gonna have Mr. Spearman come over. And if you're interested in starting a business, you can come in. And they got 9,000 people over there. And there's 3,000. And they come down and they ask you about a business or want to start. Same thing at Encore. the land off of, so I'm just saying, you might wanna get these public housing, new locations like Encore and West River. I don't think y'all, let you take that.
Yeah, so, well, it's a different method of engagement that we normally have with them because I normally work with their procurement offices to get like small.
I understand, I'm giving, okay.
No, I'm happy to.
Okay, if like Mr. Long is making extend that open to have a session like that. Like some people they stay with, they don't want to be bothered about it. They don't want, they don't want to, but if it's a meeting call, they say, hey, y'all show up. You probably see a lot of people in that time of year, they're gonna start, you want to start a business, come and see the navigator to tell you about what the city is doing, because you're in the city. And the city of Tampa get housing started after $1 million a year. The last time I don't know from CDBG, so they get a lot of money from the city. So it'd be nice if this navigation department hook up with these developments like, I'm not just speaking specifically about West River, Encore, and down the road with Rovers Park. That's all I'm saying.
No, connect.
And so that way you can go to one spot and hit a bunch of people instead of all these things all over the place. But anyway, thank you for tonight. I appreciate what you're doing. If you need anything from us, let us know.
Yeah,
So,
just help me fill out the calendar for the rest of the year, and then I'll reach out to you.
Hey, bro. Yes, let's just be recorded. Okay, that moves the 7 times. Let's bring it rolling so we get out of here.
Okay, so now we move into our reports. So we have our projects report. I think I gave you the latest and greatest, but I do have some general updates that Nick Bennett gave me for today. And some good news. Celsinas Park. You'll know ongoing work has been going on there, but the good news is there is a ribbon cutting tentatively, I'm going to tentatively scheduled for late March, and they're looking at March 24th. So I know there was some issues, some folks talking about trees and things like that. I immediately talked to Tony Munch. The city has not accepted that. Those are not correct. So you'll see some switch outs on some of the vegetation there. Those aren't the right trees. So he said, don't worry, it's going to be done right. But by the way, palm trees were in the original plan, the accepted plan, but those aren't the right ones. He will come to you.
That's up to Tony.
Okay.
So he told me they are the right palm trees. If the reason they look like they look, they took pictures, but them trees are only in a location down in Manatee somewhere. They took the pictures of them, they put it on the truck, but they were damaged in the hamlet. But all of those trees are checked to be good, meet specification requirements. So what happened is they sort of like have a specification, and those trees are slightly smaller than the specification.
Right.
But they accept them because they don't know where to be found. Those special trees, now go a certain way, certain palm trees. I thought they was specific with that palm tree disease, but they're not. Tony once told me that they were damaged in transit, and that what Brenda said, they ain't accepting them because they ain't know where they gonna let that go over there. So they're gonna have to replace them with new stock as soon as they can find that stock, and then get that stock killed without being busted up. And that's why you see the bulbs just turn on, because they were broken through the transit. Got it? So go ahead.
So there's more to come, but good news is they're if y'all look on your list here, they're supposed to be completed in February. Okay, so there is a deadline for the park, but there has been a date set with the mayor's office and with council, CRA board, of late March for a ribbon cutting. So the thing is, there is a ribbon cutting which will force the deadline. So anyway, that's coming up.
But not March 20th.
They put on March 24th at 3 p.m. But again, it could change, but that's what they tentatively have kind of.
Has that been cleared with the Southeast family?
I'm not sure. I will check. Yes, I will definitely check. So that happens sometimes. They start putting things on calendars. Let's look, is this date gonna work? But yes, absolutely. You'll have to be there. And so that's going on. Ray Park, the GMP is on the February 5th City Council agenda, and it will be followed by a notice to proceed in late February. A groundbreaking and demolition is Not set yet, but they're looking at March of 26, expected completion by September 27. So I shall know, we have same contractor, we have ribbon cutting for one part and then groundbreaking for the next part. So everything's kind of targeted for March, but I don't have an exact date for the March, but that's just, we're getting there. Yes, ma'am.
What did you say for Lake Park?
The Ray Park,
Well,
we're talking about,
In February.
yeah, February 5th is the GMP, that's the price. They have to go to city council with their final time, so there's a couple more steps they have to do with council. But the notice to proceed will happen right after that, and then we'll do a groundbreaking. So looks like the spring, we're gonna have some good stuff happening here. Okay, Fremont, I've not forgotten about this, Fremont Avenue grid reestablishment. Nick is gonna be coming to our next meeting, but right now they're pending the final scope and fee approval, which will be followed by a notice to proceed. And there'll be a CAC introductions and presentation of the firm in February or March of 2026. Originally, Nick thought he could come tonight to tell you about this, but we're not quite ready. So we're targeting really next month, okay, for a presentation for the Fremont Avenue grid. And y'all know what you remember that project? That's opening up the 4 streets, Cherry, right? Okay, and this isn't on your project list, but it's on mine and B's. It's the Howard and Cypress property that we bought, remember? We've had a lot of inquiries from the community of what's happening, what's going on. So just so you'll know, right now, there's a Brownsville designation process that's underway. You'll know they have to look and make sure the property is clean. There's ongoing site preparation and the demolition of the buildings will be next, and that will happen. It's planned for February. So we're very close to being able to demolish the buildings. When that happens, I'll let you know, of course. It'll be a big dust bowl right on Cypress, but we're moving forward with that project. The next thing we're going to do, I'm meeting with B, is to start to schedule some time with you guys to start talking, and the community as a whole, talk about visioning for that project and what that's going to look like. So that's what I have for the project from the projects team. Is there any questions I can bring back to them?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is this not updated, the sheet that you gave us?
This is the latest one we have. So it is, other than what I just shared with you. Okay, is there a question on something here?
What you were saying wasn't matching up to this, so I thought maybe I could.
Yeah, no, this is we're giving you latest and greatest of the week.
Now, when you say visioning, does that mean nothing is set on what we're going to do with that property, or do we already know what we're
Well, we know we're going to do housing, right? We're definitely going to do housing, but we need to have community visioning. We talked about that as one of our
the
problems.
policy of CRE now is just like an example.
Mhm.
We run the vision for the 2101 Main Street workshop for the Freedom Park on the 28th.
Yeah, skip to that.
This is one of the first ones that have to follow the rules. So whenever we buy any product, including that,
I understand, and I guess, and I understand what a visioning meeting for a park would look like. I just don't know what a visioning meeting for a housing project.
well, you might want to have 20 student dollars, you might want to have.
So are we talking about like density or mixed use or all those things?
All of those. I mean, we could definitely, yeah.
It's just not.
We want community input on that project. That's always been kind of our
So
process.
they got half of that added too, right?
We do. We have half the alley and the dentist on the corner is not ours, obviously. So you got almost the whole block except for him, who's very interested in being part of the community visioning. So,
This has been, well, you done see this person on there?
No, my last question, and I bring these up every month, is if we could get a schedule of all these projects, so we know kind of like the one, I know like the ones that we're looking for consultants, we don't have a schedule. Like, the ones that we do, we should have a schedule, so we can kind of keep track of where we are. If we could get a copy of that, it doesn't even have to be a hard copy for the next meeting, if you could email all of us the schedule for the active projects.
okay, so just a little clarity on that, because I've asked Melissa Martinez about that, and she says she puts the dates in on this tracker that she knows. Okay, is there something? Give me something more of what you're looking for.
I would like to see the whole schedule,
for
Well,
each project,
Each benchmark is and what completion is. That way,
for those
we
that
can keep track of if we are slowing things down, if we're not on the original schedule. Putting one date on this table doesn't really do anything for us because they keep moving those dates. So we don't know how far behind we are on projects. We have, for example, this Salinas Park. CRA approved that 2 years ago. So it's taken up 2 years to get this put in. I want to know what the original schedule said. Is it an 18-month schedule or 12-month schedule? And why is it taking us so long? A little bit more, I guess, accountability so we can.
okay, I will relay that over to Ms. Martinez because she monitors all of that, but definitely on the project.
To give me a call.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank
I'm
you.
happy to discuss that.
And this will be noticed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna come back over to Jonathan, thank you.
No, I just wanna know when the fence is gonna be put by, cause it's, I don't know if the wind.
The fence, oh yes, I got pictures of that last week. The fence is an ASAP project. This is interesting. The old fence kept falling down. So we actually put in concrete, this would be concrete barrier, a stronger base to it basically. And it fell down again. So it's on, everyone knows about it. There was just a holiday yesterday. So hopefully that fence is gonna be up very, very short, but it is on.
You know, the solution is get the nonsense and just put some poles in the ground and put a temporary fence that everybody else do. They put down the cemetery over there off of, MLK and 22nd Street, but western around. Just put a temporary construction fence that does not have, you got to put weight on it, put concrete on it, there's a pole in the ground, we take the poles up and we finally know what we're gonna do. Right, Mr. Ramirez? So anyway, that's another solution, but anyway, that's not, you're not spending much of labor and time on value folks putting it up there, it's been put up there with poles in the ground, drill a hole, put a little concrete, put a little cheap pitch fabric on it, and you're done. But you're horsing around with this thing, same thing up there, seeing it just falling on you down, people crawling over it, knocking it over, pulling it down, making food. But you know, it is what it is. Next, who's over here? Mrs. Jeanette and then Mrs. Maloney.
Just, I noticed that, I'm not sure at what point the two projects that we voted on last meeting, the implementation of the 3 projects from the parking study and then the Main Street beautification plan.
Wait a minute, you got your motion list you made up for you?
So I have a
I know,
motion.
thank you for the motion list, but those are projects.
Okay.
So we made the motion. No, we,
Right.
thank you for the
Right,
motion list.
and they're aware, so.
But now those motions need to be put on the project list.
Yes, I met with I know we had a meeting about the Main Street. That one is going to be more formal. We actually have it there, but it's not called like what your motion was, which was, the
Yeah,
beautification.
just so long as they get on the list so we don't lose track of them. And while am I allowed to speak about the motions list while we're?
You brought it up in this part, because you check to see that once a motion is done, we put completed on it.
Well, I'm getting to that. Wherever it is, I was just wondering, I guess I was thinking in my head it was gonna be more like a spreadsheet, but it's more of a word list and that's okay, but yeah, just some status designation on it.
That's fine. I wanted to share what we,
Yeah.
bringing it all together as I build it.
Yes.
Let's talk about how you wanted that to look. I kind of put all that under my manager report, but that's fine. Let's talk about that, if you'd like. I guess what happens is the project list. Is there any other questions about that? And again, next month I will have one of the project team members here that can address things, but if there's something that you want more information on, like Mr. Ramirez on the schedule or something else, let me know and I will relate.
Yeah, I just,
Yes, ma'am.
is there any, movement on the bronze mural issue? Is that ever coming back?
No, that ain't coming.
Thanks.
We ain't never gonna be no real.
Because there is data to prove that
Yeah, but
it does calm traffic.
They don't care.
yeah, they ain't coming back, that thing.
Fortunately, no, I don't think that one is.
So maybe I could take it off the list, because
That's a good point.
It makes you mad.
Take it off.
Okay, so there's that. And then the other.
That's why it's highlighted, I think, yeah.
The other question I have is about the Cypress and Howard housing
Mhm.
development.
will the city come to this visioning session with any data on like number of units, number of bedrooms per unit? What type of, is it, are they going to be primarily for families? Or, I know it's workforce housing, correct? So like, what will, I mean, what people think they want and what the city would actually needs might be different. And since we don't have access to that data, it would be nice to have that at that meeting.
I will reserve all of that for Miss B Parks, because she's the expert on that, but definitely we'll have to explore all of them. And obviously you have the zoning and you have certain restrictions that are going to be in place, but let's save that thought, but I'll definitely write it down for her. Okay.
Is that it, Mr. Malone? Okay. And that else is not where we're at now. We're in the stuff.
Well, the other ones are just the other standard reports that come out. We've got the grants program. Now, I might as well just skip ahead of this. All grants, okay, not all grants. Commercial grants, interior and exterior are open. They're open for, they're accepting applications here.
You're on the committee long.
They're open.
You're gonna be on the committee long.
The commercial,
Long.
there's two things, commercial and, first of all, housing grants never stopped, okay, so they are active. So I put on your agenda that they're active. And I also gave y'all one page, I'm starting this little manager report, like my notes, so you can see what I do. But they're, yeah, they are.
Commercial interest grants begin.
Right.
Application is over, so if you got one, you wanna get one there.
Correct.
Can you provide us a brief percentage of this commercial grant? What is it?
We got it on sign, they want the whole.
Yeah, there's like-
You go online and they got it on down, everything on there, that's, breaking it down. It's on there, it's extensive, and matter of fact, if they had a red or strike.
What is the limit on top of?
Well, 75,000 interior, 75,000 exterior. So
Yeah, these are the standard grants, okay?
that don't come to us for approval. They're administrative approval, but I may be resigning the next one, but listen to me.
Yes, and just so you know, I've already, I provided all the information.
All right, now we down to housing report. Now, my question is, when we gonna get rental rehab? Now, I don't answer that, but it's going on 5 years. No. Read that.
So-
I'm not getting in the gas, I'm just doing things. I'm lost. Now, what I'm saying is, okay, we need, I just saying for the record, I was told by Cedric that him and Ms. B are really serious looking at the rental rehab. Because I feel that rental rehab, a lot of wood frame time that can be renovated a lot cheaper than building brand new. And supply housing for low income people. Section 8 people, because there is a backlog of at least 20,000-30,000. Okay, and I'm sorry, can't meet that need, you can't meet that need. But some of the houses sitting empty, you sit around here trying to move on with meetings and code enforcement to be brought back and stop trying to take people's stuff. Work with on like yourself and all, but one, we can do things. Okay, so anyway. Moving on, so that's the commercial grants, if you want that, you go online, you got all that, Ms. Maloney.
Right, and
Question,
Yes, ma'am.
it's not on the, what is the deal with the city's position on ADUs? We haven't heard any, I heard, they were gonna come up with a plan, and that would be something that could address the housing problem. So,
The state of Florida said enough of this. Everybody got a whole different thing about ADUs. Because I'm starting to get the legislative report one, because I sit on another board, and they get a consultant, tells everything. And they're looking at, and if you watch the Florida update, they're looking at coming up with a statewide ADU statute. Meaning, forget you Tampa, this, everybody, and all these different ADU, they're gonna come up with one that will be statewide, and it's gonna trump anybody local. Now, that's one thing that the legislature said they're looking at. As far as the city, I think it's still a work in progress, right, Carlos? I mean.
It's been a work in progress for a long time.
long time.
That ship ain't landed yet, that plane ain't landed yet. So it's still a work in progress. And when Ms. B and them come, we can ask about that.
think it's just similar.
Cause the housing thing, okay, they got something, but it ain't something that, you know. Now, so it's the housing thing.
Okay. And the flyers for housing are all attached here. If y'all need more for your communities or anything, just let me know. I'll send you all the PDFs. I think I've done it before, but I'll do it again.
Okay, now we done the advantages.
Mandatory report. Make sure I can see. Sure.
The income limits, I know these are all different programs, but two of them have the same number and one of them doesn't. They're supposed to be, are they supposed to be different depending on which grant you go after?
The federal HUD and state income limits, this one? Well, this, oh, yeah, there's a difference because one's 2025 and one's 2024.
Flyers are not updated.
So the last one's not updated. Go on the federal HUD, under the down payment assistance of it. It's probably just because it just turned over.
And that's
Sorry. Bless you, bless you.
everything else before we're in the pocket. Good news, right, man. Okay, I'm to report, brother.
Okay, manager's report. So I decided let's just kind of have a one pager. If y'all like this, I'll continue to do it. But just to tell you what's happening, that I'm dealing with a lot of, and also just getting some things on your calendars with your groups. So number one, we have a clean team, a brand new one. It's 4678 landscaping company, and the man who owns and operates it, his name's Michael Cobb. He was our low bidder that came when we did the bid for the program. Williams Landscaping had been doing it for a while, a couple of years. They did a great job. But Michael's doing a great job. He's out there. He started getting, gung ho on day one. He's even started to build relationships with the business owners and even some of the folks that like to hang out in the parking lot. He's managing that parking lot. He's even putting a trash can in there. So far, so good. I want you guys are eyes and ears though out there. Just so you know, we extended this contract, Mr. Alonia, to go all the way down to Nebraska. What they're doing, no, I'm sorry, North Boulevard. Mistaken. Nebraska. No, it's the whole corridor. So it's the whole Main Street corridor. And of course, it goes from Union to Green, where you're between Armenia and I think it's Rome, Oregon. And then where the housing authority is, we're just making sure there's no litter that starts to accumulate on the sidewalks. I mean, right now the housing authority does a pretty good job in there, but I always go by there and I see a cup here and that, just crazy. We're gonna keep it all clean. So he's doing a pretty good job so far. What I've seen, I want y'all to tell me if he's not. And what's that?
The days. Is it 7?
Every single day, you'll ask me for 365 days, and he is out there every day. Now, if he calls and says, Brenda, can I have Christmas off or something's going on? I mean, we will have some flexibility in that, but.
Here's my observation, okay? Down street. These have been federal by cleaning and maintaining. Move down and look right on these habits. And these habits and this clean and everything. I think that's consistent. Straight down, they can business not be there. Mattress man that they are a lot better than whoever doing it now. But that's in the thing, what you gonna do? I mean, we change people and got a new room and sometimes we been straight up. But the ad is a hell of a lot better. And I can't wait to get the lights and the cameras down there with body and all that. Because we got something going on here. These alleys are maintaining, and that might be because we got cold weather and it's killing us going back. Okay, and they use the herbicide. But for some reason, when I ride down Main every time all the way from Kennedy, I look both ways and I just see alleys where I can just see down. As a matter of fact, there was right here by the post office between Union and Chestnut. Mm-hmm. And the guy dumped his white sand in the attic for him to do the building there. And when I rode by this week, they done made him move that out the way so you can have access down the attic. So somebody around here get stuff that kept them at his foot. Because he had a big pile of sand for like built in block. They need to move that sand out and get that attic straight. So I just want to thank you, Ms. Brundon, that whatever you done with the attic, they look a lot cleaner to me consistently this time, not just on a stop that. But we're going to see what the rainy season started and all that.
I need the alleys here off of Main Street or all the.
I go from Kennedy That's,
So we have another contractor that's doing that.
Okay.
So we have Emerald, and remember, we were gonna like, let's let them do one time, and I kind of felt like we need once a year. So they just finished up Emerald. So there's two contracts. We've got Main Street being, okay? And then we've got Emerald Facility Management. And what they're doing is they're going through and doing 2 sweeps a year, like 2 major cleanings. They just finished up the first one in the fall. And they started last year. Last year, it was a little, it was overgrown for a long time. So it took them a little while to get going. Now they did it again. And then they'll have one more cleaning to do in April. Okay. And then we have an option to extend them or not.
Do we have pictures of before and after?
Yes, they have pictures of before and after. And it's just like anything, like you're cleaning your house. Once you do it and you keep up with it, it stays clean, right? But we can't, what's that?
And I've seen some alleys that have been overgrown and they're still overgrown.
They are. Hey, tell me which ones.
man, so
Tell me which ones, because they're constantly
I'm gonna go
good.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
go behind them today or tomorrow when it's like and document that. But I
Well,
want
they've already finished this one billing, and I just got their literal invoice. We haven't paid them yet, and we have to sit down.
Last time we talked, they were north of 275. So I was waiting for them to come south of 275.
Okay, so I need to know that from us, please. You and I get together. Okay, so we've got that. That was my second.
Yeah, I think I go to like north 275, like with my walk.
Can y'all email me where it's at?
No, I'm walking out. I echo Joe that they're back.
Oh, they're clean. Okay,
They're
you're
clean.
clean, but there's a couple ones that are still a little
Yeah,
massive. You got these too?
like our alleys don't go all the way to Howard. There's some that are deep.
Mhm.
When you're walking up Howard, you won't see these alleyways. And they get overgrown and as much as I complain to my neighbors, they need to maintain
wait, you said that is a what?
overgrown.
No, you said the T.
They're teeth,
I
right?
mean,
So they're not parallel to Howard. So
there's no one there
and then it just goes in and then you have to make a left or right
to get out there.
to get out of it.
I see, so it is right on left, it's not just straight through.
Right.
Are they vacated?
Yeah.
Okay.
One side of the T might be vacated, but it's still.
Well, that's this.
All right, so if y'all would, please
Yeah.
let me know which ones, and I'll definitely get with
But
them.
if there's any comments on Brenda's management report, I think we need to keep it.
That was
Yeah,
my
like
only comment was the alleyway, but I like this format.
Okay. Trudy,
Is that
Well, now, on top of that, just so I need y'all to really pay attention to these. These are 2 flyers on community engagement sessions. One's in January, which is next week, and one is in February. I've got extras back over there. Let's talk about the January one. I sent it, for the holiday. This is Freedom Park 2101. We're having it at Cohatch. They've been really wonderful about opening their. And so we have one on January 28th. It's on a Wednesday night from 6 to 8.
We're having cocaine. But we.
Assuming
Right at the main, they have
We have a Christmas tree lighting,
No, the Christmas tree line was outside.
outside.
but inside there.
Yeah, that main
Right
space.
inside that thing,
Yes.
where they got that little, what is it now?
Yeah, well, there's a big room in the middle.
That room.
Yes.
Okay, so-
There's a
but-
room.
I'm assuming that's where it's gonna be.
Right, so that'll be our first one. There is a survey here about, they want to get input, and people can't be there, tell them they can't make it or whatever, they have an opportunity to give input. So we want to hear everyone's ideas about Freedom Park. That's a really important park on Main Street. The second one is on February 23rd. It's a Monday night, and we're doing the Community Redevelopment Plan community input session. Here, they also have a survey, and also they're incentivizing the survey by giving you a $50 gift card to a local restaurant or business. So to take the survey. So this is the other team that we have doing the community redevelopment plan. So I want to make sure I get them to y'all. I will send them to you. I think if I did before this is the meeting, but make sure you have them electronic so you can send them out to whoever you need to send them to your community if you would like to see good participation. And then last, I did give y'all the newsletter from the fall. We have a newsletter here, packed with some information of what we've been doing all over Tampa CRA. So we're included in that. Let's see, what else did I want to share with y'all? Grants are open. We will be having a CAC orientation again. We always do that in March. I don't have the flyer yet, but I'll send it to you as soon as I get it. And that would be March 9th. That's a Monday night. We're gonna do that one at hand. So March 9th, yes. So I'll send all this to you again. Maybe I'll call it the CAC community calendar so you can make sure you'll have all that information ready to go. Then again, if y'all have any interest or know anybody that wants a grant, I put on this form, where to go. They can go online to the website and request their consultation, or they can pick up the phone and call the number here. Miss Mia
I'll
Dort.
do it, and they're gonna tell them their announcement on their business.
Well, I'm gonna lead y'all to where they are, and then we go from there. And then the last thing is kind of the motion tracker. This is actually helpful for me too. So thank you so much.
Appreciate that.
Yes,
This is it's very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
On here,
Okay, that's
okay, old business. Old business. Old business. Okay, new business. Let me read these off. Any new business?
Yeah, I want to share that thing, just a brief comment on the thing that I expressed earlier.
Yeah, and then leave it. So with that list,
Yeah,
so
so,
I'm gonna put that on the announcements. Okay, that's appropriate in announcements.
that's fine.
So there's no old business.
Yeah.
There's no new thing. We just need to go on the record. Let's just on the beat, so we're gonna need this record. Yeah, we're gonna take it. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm letting do it. Okay, any old business? There's no old business. Any new business? New business? It's this one.
Where's our next meeting?
Well, I was gonna ask Brenda when she's gonna make the list of all the meeting dates so we can.
Right now, you're in this room.
Okay.
You're in this room.
And so-
I will let y'all know, we're having to get new equipment, because the room, at the canopy doesn't have any audio visual at all, and it's a small room. So we're in the process.
We haven't seen the difficulty tonight with what we get, so it's fine.
Correct. The only meeting, just so you know, I mean, I haven't told anything to the half that we don't say anything. I know. Or we're considering, the only meeting that we have to move is in May, where we don't have this room. And so the idea was to go to Martin Luther King like we did last year. However, I've heard that that room may not be available because the Rome Yard's using it or somebody's using it. So that may be the month that we move to the canopy. I don't know. So I'll let y'all. But the schedule is the schedule. Nothing's changed until, we have to.
When you first start this, the series, you were reading at the West Tampa, what? Is that
We
conclusion?
would love to, but they won't open the building past 5:30.
Okay.
So they're not evening. Yeah, it's not an evening opportunity for us. Sorry.
Okay, with that, let's start on you. You want this back so you can, it's.
No, I have no mind.
Okay, I'm gonna get this to Brenda.
Don't do that, yeah, because it's just different, but and what we are doing is to bring activities for, West River, Main Street. So all of our development has ground floor retail. We have parks, open spaces. So we have engaged, Dash. And Dash is a certified, small business enterprise, MBE, event production and marketing agency in Tampa. So they do a lot of stuff. They actually perform, set up a Christmas on events. We do that every year. But right now we are going through the process of finalizing this agreement with her. She has set up every month, there will be an event at the West River. It would be good to populate that on our website so that people will know. But I will send it to you as soon as that is finalized. I don't want to go ahead and read all the stuff here. For example, February, they're gonna have a Black Law and Legacy movie night. And then Sunday, April, this is February. And then February Then, April 5th, Rejoice Easter Sunday in the fall. June 12th, Tampa Bay, June 10th. Friday, July 3rd, Freedom Family and Food Fest. And then Saturday, July 25th, back to school bash. So all this is laid out throughout the month. And that's going to increase food for on the main street and increase activity of Western, which is what we're trying.
Great.
But as soon as we finalize,
Slides it, send it to me and I'll send it to everybody.
so disregard that because I realized that it being told on there, it wasn't finalized and I will send it to you.
Okay. And then go to this since November. They got PD rezoning, replacing surface ponds and underground stormwater storage chambers. 129, 130 Maxwell Place, where that is, and it's Sam Arrest is the person. And then I got one here from rezone to Mario Swift, the other making at 1500 West LaSalle Street.
Yeah,
Aaron Trombada
yeah.
for a notice to file for rezone. We got one here with 1726 West Cypress. The application back on the beverage, ABQ. Owen Rice, the applicant. And it is 1000 Good Stair Street. By Orlando Lundy and Montino. Saturday, and I guess it's in the airport. We got a PD residential city county. It's semi-detached at 2704 West Carolina Street. Baptist for rezone. And we got application rezone at 2549 West Cherry Street. Residential city family semi-detached PD. We got 2334 West St. Louis Street and 2707 North Amelia Avenue. That's what's going to corner something. Already stripped the CI to propose on PD for storefront, residential, office, commercial, all CG uses. Then we got a petition for review at 2312 West Bridge Street. Steve Whitley, the applicant, and for a petition for review at the name. Right, Grace. And then it doesn't mean 2312 West Grace Street. Petition for review. After Steve Nicholson, representing home, yes. And my last one here is address or request at 1701 West Cash Street. They want to design a section of DE-1, and the agent is Rockwell Investors at 1918 Cash.
What was the address of?
1701 West Cash Street. 33607 is where they want to speak. That's what I have on that. And another announcement is I know that you see that road rides coming out the ground. So they don't roll. And then also, you'll see also the trailers, they put like 8 or 10 trailers behind Jeff. Scancer is now engaging into what they're removing out front even on Saturday, Sunday, out of the old Just of Washington. So they're getting ready to engage into the redevelopment, the reconstitution of Justin Stewart. They're gonna knock down Stewart, the old lake. They're gonna knock down portions of Just. I understand. And then they're gonna create a brand new, somewhere around $75-80 down a brand new pre-K after do 8th grade just until they no more. And then they're gonna have Just Stewart, pre-K to 8th grade, Just Stewart, with Stewart, I think, been 5th through 8th, and Just been pre-K through 4th, I guess, really do it. And then they're gonna make it general states, the general state, so we got something historical and it was renovated. That's the part that Harry Howard's doing, and then the rest of the other two schools being done by Blacksburg. It's another thing, so it's all about. So I just want to report on that. So this thing about in my position from 5 years ago, I was brand new, this team. You get brand new, not no monetary, we feel secondhand nonsense. And I want all brand, I want pre-K, so they like granddaughter, and that we were, my daughter supposed to get pregnant, it's much. But it's talking a lot of money, yeah, it's going. I need to stop. I'm reading the funny stuff like that. Man, you want to go with this nonsense. You know, they didn't get it. Even they wouldn't get it. So anyway, but that's something that I think when we get that, then we can bring the children back to the down and back to our neighborhoods, reestablish as a community where children will be available to walk to their school. And they won't have to even leave the area. They can go there from pre-K, from cradle, all the way and walk over the lake and graduate, you know, because the real graduation up to 90%. I don't think they're 90% at that time. That's built. And you don't have to leave the area. So it will be an incentive to be there and to be in Westfield, to be in West Tampa. So I'm serving traffic because it's funny. It's just taking me to they have here, but I got half. So, you know, it's taking that long to just get this thing with long park over here where you're able to take your kids at maximum, imagine that $4 million brand new from the ground up and the street work around it. Brand new South Sea Park, brand new freedom, opening up the streets and thank will be a community that's connected with the West River and everything else. Now, one,
I just want to add,
yeah.
the students at Stewart will be over at Just starting Monday. They're moving, they started.
Okay, Saturday knows going on.
Yeah.
If you get 6 months, you still there, you still.
I'm still floating and
Okay, well, we don't let them get rid of it. I believe it. Here's the other thing that I did notice, and I'm sure. I am a little upset here tonight about, you know, I believe in safety by design. I'm coming down Howard and I'm riding, and I see a lot of problems. I see lights ain't on. So Joe Robson's track on this 38 here, probably in another 2 weeks, and I'm finna walk as soon as it get dark. Okay, I'm riding in my truck, and I'm starting Kennedy, and I'm gonna start coming down all the way down Howard. I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna make a list of every light pole number, and I'm gonna make that list, and I'm gonna give it to you, Mr. President. They get with Tito and so get out there, get the light on, get the purple light out, or whatever it is. I identify whether it's a purple light or whether it's a light ain't on, and get a bit back up right here. But criminals can be by the house over there, the post office. The lights out. Go to that right now. They've been out for months. Okay.
Have you reported it in?
No, he ain't gonna do that like me.
There's one on my street I've reported twice.
Twice, I was wondering.
Yeah, but I'm talking about at the post office and around that area. I'm scared. I got to put. I'm just saying, it's bad, and it's got now where I'm gonna do it myself. I did it once years ago. I'm gonna walk it, and I'm gonna write down the poll numbers, and I'll make a list up. And it's probably gonna make Tico get it straight. Yes, Mrs. Ramirez.
In my experience from having issues with Tico,
Yeah.
now I go make a list
Mhm.
and give it straight to Miss Jan Washington.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
She will get it done.
Okay, well, I'm guessing I'm.
Last month, so Jan is like the person.
But
But give it to me.
It's not just the main street lights, it's the pedestrian light. That, you know, the one up here been shining. They're exactly one down. They get knocked out. And, you know, they started to add those down mainly. I think started to do a beautiful job and stuff. So I'm just upset about that because I like safety. I ain't worried about it. But I'm just worried about, I see a lot of people pushing strollers. I see a lot of people, new people coming into town. And we need to make sure that, you know, and I don't like that post office door being open 24 hours a day to them boxes. Okay, the super. Now, that thing is locked, like the months. It's always open. People go in there and sleep. They didn't get back that a month. Okay. That's another thing. So that's all I got to report. Now, any other announcements besides before we adjourn?
Oh,
Mr. Chairman.
I just have one announcement for anyone that might be interested. There is a place for, I hadn't heard of it until today, Chewy's Lounge. It's a jazz and cigar lounge. It is a little bit north. It is not in the CRA. It's on North 5908 North Armenia. Anyway, there is a ribbon cutting. And so it'll be on February 6th. 4:30 is the reception, 5 o'clock is the ribbon cutting.
Is that north of?
It's a little north of Hillsborough. Yeah, and it's a jazz and cigar lounge. So it sounds, sounds very nice. So, and I think that's where, Vincent and Tampa relocated their operation there.
That's not a cigar.
Yeah, so anyway, anyone that's interested,
Anything else, before I go to Ms. Jones?
pardon?
That's it. On the
That's
basket?
it. That's
Ms.
it.
Jones.
Could you repeat what you said about Blake? You said they were going on Stewart.
That's not. Oh, yeah. But the gymnasium will be re-renovated. Gary Howard's doing that gym, but the student will be not that, the old Blakely's student will be knocked down. That's when they move the students over to Just. And then they rebuild like the new Stewart that over there and they go over to Just. But it's happening and it's fun. And they fix stuff up. So, that took a long time to convince everybody around here. New is better than old. Now, here's the other thing too that I will report to you that's sad about the West River Wall. And so we went to the meeting at Mr. Vice Chairman there. And we heard this big presentation, and there's a hole in the wall. There's a gap. And related, that's the problem. Right there at the foot of the Kennedy Bridge, where related is going to be that side with Channel 8. Related is responsible for doing that underpass and building that out. It ain't no guarantee it get built. It's not guaranteed. Carlos was there, he explained further, he's our representative on that. And I was like, what? I thought thing was talking about that part right there. There's
no guaranteeing when, but if they want their CO, they have to do it. That's part of their.
But they told us that the schedule for that to be done is gonna be what, like the first of next year?
I think there's like a year gap.
Right, and then we're gonna have a gap there. We'll be done with all that stuff at West River, well, or West River, and then that gap that could be there for a while. Because part of the existing thing.
Yeah, but I will say, because there was a gap, and in order to get the funding from the feds, they had to have a continuous route. That's why they added road from Columbus all the way down to.
Correct, and that's what we got. So when you see Rome in 2 years from now, you ain't gonna know. But what we seen that they showed us with the improvements that they gonna make on Rome Avenue,
Yes.
it is not gonna be the same. When you add Rome Yards to that, Rome, and then they're talking about what they said they're gonna do down the light at the foot of the bridge at Rome and Columbus. Was it a light? What they said? Was that a light gonna go
They
there?
were saying a roundabout.
No, the roundabout. I think they said a light was going on.
What?
Rome and Columbus Drive.
Yeah,
It's a light. They're coming to same there. So, yeah, they're gonna put, they did that. They're gonna crazy that.
all the way, well, the flirt between Cypress and Kennedy is already through. So it's going to be
No.
north of Cypress, sorry, north of Cass, all the way to Columbus, and then from Kennedy south all the way to Black.
So Rome is gonna be a really different place. I know it used to be number of trains up down there. But anyway, if that,
The lady had wanted to clarify something in the audience.
this lady got a name. And,
She was asking the,
I was just trying to get the.
well, here's one other thing, but
Yes.
this lady here got a name, so Alice Moore,
Yes.
and let me just tell you about Alice Moore. This Alice Moore,
She would
come over to the West River thing, and you were, and say, Mr. Dots. I don't get no emails this meeting. I ain't bringing back this. So, that when you sign that list coming in here, that we kept that list and we emailed out to those people about our meet date. Now, I understand that ain't happened. Is that true, Mr. Dillon?
No, I do.
So, but you got
This is
to.
the problem.
There's two lists. One come to us as the board member email list.
Yeah.
But it's also what we call the West Tampa list that over the years, we always collected emails and information so that we could send stuff out to people. So are we still doing that?
You were meeting at the library and I did,
You got you way back when?
yes.
Yeah, but see, I send out the email stuff myself. Okay,
Yeah, it was waiting for a long time. And then after, for some reason, it stopped. So, everything is still the same. So that's it. I haven't been, this is my first time coming here. But I was telling him I normally get them and I don't know why they stopped.
Did you sign in again?
I did.
Thank you. And
Do that, Ms. Brenda.
yes, moving forward, I will do that.
I got emails from here today.
So did you get your question?
Now,
I think she said, did you say, I'm meeting you for the jazz, cigar jazz?
You wanted the address of the
No,
location?
she put down 5908.
Correct.
Armenia.
North Armenia, yes, yes.
yeah, and then see, but now I sent, you asked me for an email, but I want to, and just forward our package to her. So make sure that.
As long as I know.
Okay, it's Alice Mo, 7045@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That she get from now on, but she been around here, so we've been meeting over there at the library, so so any other now,
Chair, there is surveys from the girls from USF. Does anybody want to take them? Thank you. All right, got our cards too. The numbers of like survey of that. Tap on.
I was at the meeting when they first started out and,
This was on
pitching. But,
Do you want to say? We're having.
You speak also here. Yeah. Okay. But when they first started.
So we just fill it out and
Place the room is bigger.
Yeah.
I'm picking up,
They
yeah.
brought
Yeah.
down to the library.
That's what she
And then it's just about.
I think we have all this social media. Okay, well, if that, oh, the other, Ms. Brenda, you can make that other announcement that there is an opening on this committee.
Oh, yes. So Mr. Brosnan has, decided to take a break and he, is recommending someone, but if you see anybody who wants to be, we're basically gonna have an at-large seat. So,
Is that gonna be on
I
the
haven't-
website? But isn't that supposed to be put on the website?
it's on the website. I'll send it to y'all
What's the
again.
deadline for that?
There is no deadline. Just get it into.
So if you know somebody,
If you know someone at large, now at large,
go to city, they got to do, now here's the thing, I want to get this straight, we have an issue with this, I have an issue with it. This background check, now you know you try to get a background
Yeah.
check. Now, the chat, see, I already have, they get a background, anything, I don't do that, or they, whatever you want, it's gonna come back in the time. So what I'm saying is that we have to do a background check, and we have a little misunderstanding about it, because I refused to have them take my digital signature. They told me I refused to apply. No, I didn't. I didn't want to do a digital signature. They're scanning people's stuff now. So I said if I could print it out, sign it, scan it, but they couldn't do that. So the city process is you must sign digitally and all that stuff they want you to do. And otherwise, it's gonna hold you up until such time as you do. So if they didn't know, so if you tell somebody, just tell them that you're gonna get a level, almost a level 1 background check. They go checking, they check me in 3 states at time, man. Okay, but there's no fingerprint, but they will check Interpol, FBI, city of Tampa, county location for any kind of record on you that exists that's named anything. So we just want to just let you know, so when you recommend people, let them know they will be background check. Now, here's the other thing I want you to know as well. Okay, people that are going through this renewal process, the way this works, and I'm really know this because I've had Morris Massey and legal representative put this in writing. If you are on this committee, you're on this committee until you roll over and you ain't here no more. face of the earth. Or they get removed out of both. Or you resent it. And right. So if you on this committee and your term has expired, you are still able to come here and vote and participate until such time you are replaced. It's when you move, I vote. Okay? Y'all remember that. So that Mr. Priscilla, we either participate now, even though you don't want to, until such time his replacement is made. That's city council. I'm going to tell you more. Because you extra.
You look fine.
Yeah, because you have this spot. Your term has expired. So that's how you got to stop. And you may have to leave the quick action, and they want to take you out again. But there's no other, Ms. Jones' announcement. There's a criteria for at large.
I'll tell you, you have to live, you have to work, or you have to own property in the CRA district.
Right.
You have to be in the boundary, so not anybody, but.
All property, have a business.
So
Okay.
you can live somewhere else, but if you work in the CRA, then you're eligible. But they really,
If you got own property, you should be eligible too, then.
yeah, if you own property, yeah, you're vested, absolutely.
Okay, y'all got it?
Okay, got it.
All right, with that, with no more announcement, the next speech is February 12th here, no, excuse me,
17.
it's 7:50 here at 5:30 p.m. But
If you have any surveys, I'll take them on.
the meeting is adjourned and
I just,
8:28.
it was.
Yeah. I think this is a long, they sleep, we are together, everything, we never did. It's
The main. Jim, okay, like, little blank.
Yeah.
Mr. Mike. He's there.
Still here.
You know what, you want to give him extra minutes next time?
Right, we was right, we got this was with, can you hear me? Yeah.
I'm standing off.
Oh, wow.
Can you just tell him to apologize?
Hey, we keep letting Mike know that we're gonna give him 6 minutes next week, next month.
Yeah, I'm doing it. This is right.
We only got 6 minutes.
Okay, he's doing it. We're gonna help for you. Yeah, I apologize.
That is like,
He's had trouble getting on. I don't know why.
it's a new thing.
That's good. Well, the 5th minute, yeah, we'll definitely.
What was that thing that kept going on?
So what that was,
We're gonna give him 6 minutes.
it was the, yeah. it was the motion. Anything close? That was the receiver to the microphone I had you use first. This didn't have, no, it didn't have charge in it when I got here, so I had it charging pretty much the whole time while I was setting it.
Well, in the future, you wanna make sure you got an extra one when we buy new equipment.
Well,
We got part of the equipment. We just don't have all.
I'm telling you, it's charging, come on, man.
well, with the equipment that we're looking at, we won't need these. And
Oh, really, so how do we pick up sound?
it's all through the, what we're looking at. It's like this bar thing. It has, I don't think it's been bought yet, but
Talking about like the owl?